Farm experts say a government shutdown could hurt Indiana farmers. We'll tell you what that expert and farmers have to say. Good evening. Welcome. I'm Krista Miller. It's 11 o'clock and we have your latest local news, weather, and sports right now.
From WPTA, this is 21 Alive News at 11.
And we begin with a live look across Fort Wayne today. Looks like a little bit of fog, kind of a soggy pattern that we've been in, but we want to know when we will dry out. So we begin with Chief Meteorologist Matt Leach. Hi, Matt.
Hi. Yeah, you talked about the fog, some of the low clouds. That's going to be something we'll deal with here for the next maybe couple nights, and then we'll more consistently dry out. It's been a soggy 48 hours. Some areas receiving about an inch or more of rain, others about a quarter of an inch. It's hardly equitable. Usually we see just kind of these sporadic amounts of higher than normal values. But again, for the most part, I'd say an average has been about a quarter to half an inch of rain overall. Again, some a little bit higher, some lower. 6 miles, though. That's the visibility in Fort Wayne. 2.9 in Auburn, though. We're down to 7 miles in Portland, Bern 4.3, and you can actually see some of that fog developing in and around Van Wert. I'd expect that 9 miles to actually go down probably by several miles within the next hour or so. Taking a look at kind of where we are as far as the radar is concerned, well, some more scattered showers, drizzle, low clouds. We're not going to be seeing much heavy rain for the rest of the evening, and temperatures should remain pretty steady in the upper 50s to low 60s. But tomorrow, well, although we'll see a few scattered showers and some fog early, we should see enough clearing for at least a few sun breaks. We'll talk about that and 80s in the 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Matt, thanks. The manhunt for a suspected killer accidentally released from an Indianapolis jail has come to an end. In a Facebook post, the Marion County Sheriff's Office said the U.S. Marshals Service captured Kevin Mason this afternoon in Minnesota. Mason was mistakenly released from a detention center 2 weeks ago, just 2 days after he was arrested. The release was blamed on a faulty records review by jail staff. 2 sheriff's office employees were fired. 3 people faced drug charges after police served a search warrant at a home in rural Adams County yesterday. Police were looking for Kane Vaughn, who they say violated his probation. Indiana State Police and Fort Wayne Police went to a home on County Road 300 East in Decatur. When they got there, they say Vaughn took off in a car and led them on a chase. The chase ended when police caught Vaughn in Monroeville. Police say they found drugs and guns while searching Vaughn's house. They also arrested Mackenzie Vanloo of Rochester and Bernardo Garcia of Decatur. Customers of several banks and credit unions are having a difficult time getting cash. There's an ATM outage across the Midwest, including in Indiana, affecting several of them. The banks and credit unions blame the problem on an unexpected issue with an external vendor. Lake City Bank is one of those affected. They recommend using other ATMs and say they'll pay back any fees. We talked to a technology expert who warns this is an opportunity scammers could jump at.
When things like this strike, there are terrible things and people out there that'll say this is a great opportunity to take advantage of somebody's, data or find alternatives to get them to pay.
We have more information on this story on our website, 21alivenews.com. The Allen County Public Library is partnering with Super Shot to offer free flu shot clinics in October, 3 of them. Anyone 6 months and older can get a flu shot. They also plan to offer updated COVID vaccines as soon as they get them. Super Shot Executive Director Connie Heflin insists vaccines are a safe and affordable way to protect yourself.
It's like wearing your seatbelt. You never know when you're going to come in contact with the flu. You never know when you're going to get an accident. So when you put your seatbelt on, it's just like getting a shot. You're putting your seatbelt on and you're protecting yourself against getting the flu this season.
The clinics will be held Wednesdays in October. The United Way of Allen County is reaching new heights with its annual Over the Edge fundraiser. Reporter Alex Knoll is here to explain.
Krista, in an effort to raise money for the local nonprofit, some Fort Wayne neighbors spent their afternoon sending themselves literally over the edge.
Rappelling down a 10-story building seems scary enough, but add in some bad weather, that'll get your adrenaline pumping.
Standing up there looking down is crazy ridiculous. It's high. It's really high up there.
Jill Brown was one of more than 30 people who rappelled down the side of the Heller Homes building Wednesday. Brown loved the experience, but only after she felt both her feet touch the pavement.
It was awesome. Awesome. The ground is fabulous.
Despite the euphoria Brown felt after touching down, she didn't necessarily feel like jumping at the opportunity again anytime soon.
It was great, a great experience. Will I do it again? No.
The rain, of course, made conditions tough. But United Way of Allen County CEO Rob Hayworth knew these folks were determined to go down.
If you've got the courage to rappel down the side of the building, I don't think a few raindrops are going to stop you today.
With the pouring rain, slick conditions, and gallery watching, it all added up to an opportunity that was
Once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime.
All of this, of course, was to raise money that will go towards finding solutions for community issues like homelessness, food insecurity, and education. To learn more about the United Way of Allen County, you can find more information on our website, 21alivenews.com. Krista.
Alex, thanks. There's more to come on 21 Alive News at 11. Police in Michigan are looking for the driver who hit 5 picketers outside a GM plant. And a looming government shutdown is worrying Indiana farmers. What an expert and farmers are saying.
The right care. You.
The United Auto Workers Union could expand its strike against the big 3 automakers. UAW President Shawn Fain is expected to make an announcement Friday morning at 10 in a video addressing union members. We're told additional walkouts will take place at noon on Friday. 5 UAW members in Michigan are recovering after they were hit by a car while picketing. Reporter Raven Blue has more.
These people are just making a living and want a little bigger piece of the pie, and this happens. It's very disturbing.
5 picketing United Auto Workers are recovering after being hit by a car around 4 Tuesday afternoon near the General Motors processing plant in Swartz Creek.
3 people in either a dark blue or a black HHR or possibly PT Cruiser came out of the building about 70 yards and was driving at a high rate of speeds, hit their brakes real quick and kept going, run over 5 people, and sent 2 to the hospital and 3 with other injuries.
Metro Police Chief Matt Beatty says officers were told that an employee from the plant was trying to leave and picketers were blocking the driveway. But UAW leadership says that is not the case and believe the driver intentionally struck their members.
Doing a very peaceful, legal demonstration, wasn't bothering nobody, wasn't blocking traffic, was allowing people to come in and out, the ones that had to come in, and there was no cause for this to happen.
This incident comes a few days after a fight broke out at the picket line in Centerline, where a man driving by allegedly shouted racial slurs and insults, and a woman in the same vehicle threw a drink on picketers.
Whenever you have a cross-section society, you have people that have issues. And unfortunately, they made some very serious, bad mistakes today, and justice will prevail.
As part of their investigation, police are working to collect video of what happened.
I just hope that these people turn themselves in. They're in enough trouble. They don't need to be running from the police.
UAW leadership says that this incident will not stop strikers from picketing to get what they deserve. In Swartz Creek, Raven Blue, WNEM TV5.
A statement from GM about those 5 people says they think the picketers were hit by a car belonging to a housekeeping contractor. The statement reads in part, the health and safety of all employees is General Motors' overriding priority. Any employees who experience picketers blockading entry or exit to our property should contact site security to help them safely proceed past the picketing employees. GM says they're cooperating with police to help find the driver. Kurt's Produce is celebrating its 40th anniversary with a corn maze dedicated to Community Harvest Food Bank. Community Harvest takes excess produce from Kurt's and gets it to people who need the fruit and vegetables. Kurt's is giving attendees $1 off admission to the corn maze if they bring a non-perishable food item to donate. The corn maze and You Pick Pumpkin Patch open on Friday. Congress has just days to avoid a government shutdown, and if they don't, there will be ripple effects. A shutdown could cause progress toward the next farm bill to stop, and some Indiana farmers are worried. George Mallett from our sister station in South Bend has details.
If the federal government shuts down, progress toward the next farm bill comes to a grinding halt. In a matter of weeks, farmers will be harvesting their crops. At the same time, the feds will be doing assessments impacting farm subsidies going forward. Jeff Burbrink is an ag extension educator based in LaGrange.
That's all going to come to a stop. So if this thing goes on for a week or 10 days or 2 weeks or a month, all that just gets postponed and crammed into, however much is left of the year.
Here on Deer Grove Farms, just outside of Middlebury, there is already a healthy skepticism about our federal government, and the possibility of a federal shutdown is only adding to the frustration. Barry Kaufman is the self-reliant farmer who runs this place while largely eschewing federal assistance. Still, he's downright steamed about the gridlock on Capitol Hill.
Both sides have got a lot of problems, and I don't know if we need to start over, throw them all out and start over. Maybe that's the best thing, because some of them are so ingrained in the political, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, that let's just get rid of those people so that we're working for the people again, because they're not working for us anymore.
Jeff Burbrink points out that agriculture is only a small part of what the USDA does. The department also funds food pantries and assistance programs that could shut down in days.
You just hope that people can get along with each other and realize that there are people out there dependent upon the actions in Washington.
There's more to come on 21 Alive News at 11 as we look at national headlines. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump skips the GOP debate for a second time. And Chief Meteorologist Matt Leach has our first alert forecast when we come back, talking about when we'll dry out.
After the motor.org.
7 Republicans running for president took part in a second debate tonight in California. But the man who leads by a wide margin, former President Donald Trump, once again skipped it. Here's Garrett Hake.
Tonight, the Republican frontrunner again ignoring a Republican presidential debate.
They ought to stop wasting their time. They're wasting a lot of time on these ridiculous debates that nobody's watching.
Donald Trump instead set to campaign 2,000 miles from the GOP face-off, addressing an audience including auto workers in Michigan, some currently on strike, just one day after President Biden walked a UAW picket line. Our poll showing the Trump-Biden race is a dead heat, while the former president leads the Republican field by more than 40 points nationally, all before his rivals take the stage. How hard will Mr. Trump's rivals hit him tonight? Some already telegraphing plans to take sharper aim at the frontrunner.
He's running in 2024 on a lot of the same promises he ran on in 2016 and didn't deliver on. He said he was going to drain the swamp. They didn't drain the swamp at all.
And with the debate taking place at the Reagan Presidential Library, is this now Trump's party?
He's embracing some of the language of the populist right, to talk about appeasement on the world stage, drawing back from our commitments to our allies.
Can breakout stars from the first debate like Nikki Haley have a repeat performance?
You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
All as Republican voters grapple with a runaway frontrunner still dividing the party, even when he doesn't show up.
I'm hoping that the Republicans realize that the Trump era is over.
If he's convicted and he wins, put the Oval Office in whatever prison they have him in.
The judge overseeing Trump's federal election interference case will not recuse herself. Trump's lawyers had requested U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan recuse herself due to comments she made in criminal cases against other January 6th defendants. She wrote in her opinion today that she's never taken the position that former President Trump should be prosecuted and imprisoned. Trump's trial is set to begin next March. He pleaded not guilty during a court appearance in early August. This case is one of 2 federal cases being prosecuted by special counsel Jack Smith.
Now, your 21 Alive First Alert forecast.
Okay, time to talk about the weather. And Matt, we've had a lot of rain. It's felt like it.
Yeah, well, some areas have seen 1 to 2 maybe even a little more than 2 inches of rain. Others about 1/4 of an inch. So it just kind of depends. We'll take a look at a map and you'll see exactly who's seen the most and who's seen perhaps the least. But as we take a look outside, you can see some of these low clouds and fog kind of settling over the city. Believe it or not, visibility is actually not too bad yet locally, but there are some spots already seeing some reduced visibility, and it's not likely going to get better. 62, east wind at 5, or essentially calm, and look at the high humidity, 93%. So it makes sense that we're looking at a developing foggy situation here tonight, and it's that time of year too. From late August through, well, essentially mid to late October, we tend to really see some of our first real foggy months up until the winter, when you can almost expect it every other night. But this is when we start to see the fog return after summer, which usually we don't have too many issues dealing with foggy mornings in the summer months. 3-mile visibility in Angola, 2.9 in Auburn, still at 9 in Van Wert, but I also still believe that you can see some of the contours here on the map. This indicates that fog is building in northwest Ohio, so that number is likely going to go down to 4.3 in Bern and 7 miles in Portland and Huntington. So everybody's going to see a little bit of that for the next hour or two, but into tomorrow morning, closer to sunrise, that's when I actually expect some pretty widespread fog. I don't necessarily believe that everybody's going to be under a mile, as Future Track is showing, but this is at least a trend to take note of. I always say, especially with this particular map, focus perhaps less on the number and more on the trend. And we are seeing perhaps more widespread than patchy fog developing here overnight. And then by Thursday afternoon, we should be back to clear conditions. And then Thursday night to Friday morning, we're back to some of that fog again. So something we're going to battle here for the next couple mornings with the humidity and light wind. That's really what ends up driving a lot of this, is the moisture. The dry days we've had most of the summer and even into the early fall, we haven't really had too many ingredients come together for foggy mornings, but this is where things are changing a little bit. Rain showers already ongoing into our northern counties, areas that have actually seen quite a bit of rain. Northwest Ohio could use a little bit more. Rainfall totals showing the last 48 hours that Northwest Ohio is actually the only region in the viewing area that has really struggled to see more than maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And any areas that have seen more than that have been the exception, really. You can see from Steuben County through Allen County down to Grant County, these are spots that have been seen closer to about an inch, give or take a little more, a little less. But lots of splotches here showing some of the brighter colors, which would indicate a healthier rain. Current temperatures, low 60s in Fort Wayne. We will likely see temperatures hover around the low 60s here overnight. Future Track showing we might even see a little bit of clearing, which would only add to the moisture transport, and that would then increase the fog availability tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, we should see a little bit of clearing, could also still see a few exiting showers. Tomorrow will be the last day, really, of this kind of back and forth pattern of some showers and then a few sun breaks. By Friday, things are actually looking dry. We should start off the day with some clouds and maybe a little bit of fog, but as you can see, things are kind of burning away pretty quickly by the afternoon on Friday. It's still that time of year where you can actually depend on the fog lifting before about lunchtime. Now, when we get deeper into November and December, sometimes the fog can last all day. Extended forecast, 72 and 49. So we're still seeing average high temperatures in the low 70s. And that's where we're going to be more or less tomorrow. Warmer nights, of course, with the clouds, but we will see temperatures more or less at about the low to mid 70s Thursday into Friday. Partly sunny, though, Friday, and then mostly sunny Saturday, Sunday. Temperatures getting closer to 80 on Sunday, low 80s likely Monday through Wednesday, with overnight lows in the upper 50s just as we begin October.
Sounds good, Matt. Thanks. Coming up in sports, we check in with the Purdue Fort Wayne women's basketball team and the coach who's helped breathe hope into this program.
John Clark.
A new season for the Purdue Fort Wayne women's basketball team. Hope and optimism set the tone this week. A welcome change of pace from past years, an environment created by a game-changing coach. Another year, another opportunity for progress at Purdue Fort Wayne.
I think the important thing is that you take steps forward every year.
Maria Marquesano took the head coaching job here back in March of 2021. That team had just finished a one-win season, a failing culture on and off the court. It certainly didn't seem like an appealing job for coaches with a resume like Marquesano had, but she couldn't pass up the opportunity to rebuild a program here in Fort Wayne.
Growing up here and knowing how important basketball is in this city, just being kind of, at the forefront of one of those main programs, if not the main program in our town, has been really special for me.
And this team has gotten a lot better in a short amount of time, winning 14 games last season and making it to the league tournament semifinals. Marchesano's happy with the growth, but she says that's not quite good enough.
I think if you would have asked me, how do we look 3 years ago right now, I'd been like, we look pretty good. But with the expectation of where we've been and where we want to go, we're coming down hard on them. We want more each and every day.
This coach expects a lot from this team, and players appreciate her particular style of leadership.
She's been perfect for us. She's pushed us when we need push. She's helped us when we need help. She's always a helping hand for us. Even when people are struggling, she's there to pick us up.
She's also just a fun person to be around. I mean, she's always there for you on the court, off the court. She's just that type of person that deserves this role.
Marchesano's presence has also made a clear impact on this program's recruiting efforts.
Purdue-Fort Wayne, I wasn't really looking at them, and then she stepped in and told me her plans for changing the culture and things she had in mind, and that's exactly what she did, and that's exactly what she's done, and it's what's drawn me to this college and to this place.
Coach Marchesano has certainly left her mark on this program, but she's looking to do something a bit more permanent this year.
I think it would be so special to do that in Fort Wayne in front of my family and friends, but really just for this university and this administration and these fans that have kind of been here all along. And these girls who've been through a lot. They've been through coaching changes. They've been through losing seasons. If we could get to that point and make a special run, I think it would be a really cool thing.
Year 3 for Marchesano and the Mastodons tips off on Monday, November 6th when they travel to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan. Now we head over to Turtletown. Churubusco Junior running back Angelo Anicelli checks in as our 21 Alive Football Player of the Week. The Busco back tied a school record with 6 touchdowns and broke a record with 354 rushing yards in the Eagles' 46-3 win over Fremont last Friday. He did all of that on just 16 carries, a truly remarkable offensive performance. Anicelli says that night only became possible because of all the hard work he put in with his teammates throughout the season.
I come into practice wanting to get better every day. I take practice very seriously. We get really competitive in practice, so I think that helps me translate over into games.
Anicelli also runs track for Busco and puts in a lot of time in the weight room throughout the year. Coach Paul Sage says that additional work pays serious dividends on the football field.
We don't want kids that are just football players all year round, and he's somebody that takes, like I said, he's hyper competitive. He takes a lot of pride in what he does in the weight room and on the track, and it's a great opportunity for someone to get faster for football by running track.
Anicelli and the Eagles will go for a 3rd straight win on Friday night when they travel up to Central Noble. And now a battle for the SAC crown in boys soccer, Northrop at Bishop Dwenger. Bruins breaking through midway through the first half. Miguel Gonzalez fires one past the diving keeper. That's in. Bruins go up 1-0. Same score as we head to the second half. Bruins look to Namick Mayick. He delivers it up close to Diego Reynoso, and he sends another shot through for the second Bruin goal in the night. Northrop looking to put it away now, about 19 minutes left in regulation. Mayick from way back, he scores! And Northrop earns a 3rd straight conference title, beating Bishop Dwenger 3-0. And I want to go back to our story that led the sports block. Just seeing the attitude around this team at the start of a new season, it's night and day from where we were a few years ago, where we're wondering, can this team win 5 games? Can this team win 10 games? The expectations are so much higher than that now, and I think it all starts with the head coach.
And the respect and admiration that the teammates have for Coach Marchesano is palpable. So that's got to feel good for her, too.
I'm excited to see this team this season.
Yeah, definitely. Zach, thanks. We'll be right back.
Well, we are going to be seeing some fog late tonight into tomorrow morning, and then, a few scattered showers tomorrow, but less rain tomorrow than we've seen the past couple days. Partly sunny Friday, 75. We're back to the 80s Sunday through the first several days of October.
Sounds good, Matt. Thanks. And finally from us tonight, our own Linda Jackson was honored at the Follinger Foundation. She received the 2023 David Babilia Excellence and Nonprofit Leadership Award. Linda is the board chair of Aaron's House for Grieving Children. They'll also receive a $25,000 operating grant for that. Linda said she was so surprised, and you can see the video there. So deserving. And you can watch Linda and Heather Herron weekdays at 4, 5, and 6 here on 21 Alive News. Thanks for being with us at 11. Have a good night.